So Dick Tracy is a film that's currently on HBO Max that I had never seen before, but I was told by my brother, who I've known for a long time, that I need to give it a watch, and then he proceeded to trash it insanely, which caught my interest because I actually like watching bad movies, as you could probably tell from the selections for Blockbuster Review. Hello there, and welcome to Blockbuster Review. If you don't know what that is, it is where I play a single game of Tetris Marathon on Tetris 99 and try to review a film before I reach 150 lines or I get a game over. Typically spoilers are at line 50. Here we go. So Dick Tracy is a film that's currently on HBO Max that I had never seen before, but I was told by my brother, who I've known for a long time, that I need to give it a watch, and then he proceeded to trash it insanely, which caught my interest because I actually like watching bad movies, as you could probably tell from the selections for Blockbuster Review. Anyway, Dick Tracy is the story about the titular detective Dick Tracy, as he is uncovering a plot, I think, for this one gangster to take over the entire city he's in, which I don't know if it's even mentioned. If it is, I don't remember. And he is doing this by trying to murder off his competition and, you know, get into business with their former guys and all types of stuff. I think that the music might be too loud, and it's definitely overpowering my ability to talk right now, which is making this entire thing really hard to do, which is fine because Dick Tracy is not a good movie. I'm struggling with the plot because I'm not 100% sure what's going on. It's paced terribly, and it's very hard to understand, and the acting is not great, and most of the characters that you need to pay attention to are in very grotesque, Garbage Pail Kids style makeup that's incredibly distracting and difficult to watch, frankly. Stars Warren Beatty, some fairly attractive red-haired woman I don't remember the name of, the boy from What About Bob, that's how I know him, and Hook, don't know his name. There's also Madonna, you know, acting her ass off, which we all know, and that's what she's famous for, acting. And it has Al Pacino, William Forsythe, there's a bunch of people in it. Just a bunch of actors that you'd figure quality would come out of, and I think they did get quality. The problem is the movie itself is just bad. It's bad, and you don't know exactly what is bad about it, but I'll tell you what doesn't help. When you watch it, you may be like, huh, this music sounds familiar. And if you watch a lot of movies, you might think to yourself, man, this sounds a lot like Tim Burton's Batman. The Danny Elfman music. And then, when you're going through the trailers, where that music is playing, it says music by Danny Elfman, and then there's an aha moment of, okay, so they had Danny Elfman in the room, and he's like, okay, so what's the feel of this movie? And they said Batman. And nobody at any point was like, maybe we should make it sound different, because they're different movies. Also, the idea kind of makes sense, you know. There was a very big success with adapting a comic book movie, which I believe Dick Tracy is, I think, comic strips. I don't know if it's a full comic book. I don't know. I'm not as down with the Dick Tracy lore as Warren Beatty clearly is, the star of this movie and the director, and the fanboy who didn't realize his creation was trash. We're adapting, you know, funny books for children, so we make it colorful, we make it over-exaggerated, but Batman somehow does it right. I actually did the Lord's work of watching Batman 1989 right after it because it reminded me so much of it, and Batman, while it's not a perfect movie, it works so much better than Dick Tracy. So you have to ask the question, what is wrong? And I think, while I have no knowledge, I have no research, I have no understanding of how movies even get made. I am just a dude talking on the internet, so you shouldn't take me seriously. But the point that I think that causes someone to dislike Dick Tracy but like Batman, it has to be pacing and directing. It has to be. Or just editing. Because there's something about Dick Tracy where it never seems to get moving at the right time. And then when it is moving, it doesn't seem to be moving correctly. And then when story beats are happening, it's still so confusing. And there's no logic to any of it. And it's supposed to be this dark noir with these crazy cartoon characters, but you don't have any feelings for any of them. And just at a random point, Al Pacino is wearing this crazy fucking makeup and is like the director of a show all of a sudden and not a gangster, and is getting really upset at the piano player played by Mandy Patinkin. And Mandy Patinkin? I think his name's like 88 Keys. Everybody has weird fucking names. And you're like, okay, and the worst part while you're watching it is you're thinking, okay, this is probably right up somebody's alley. Like the look, the set design, the colors, all of that stuff is just right on point, but there's just something about it that doesn't work in your brain. It's almost like if you watched, it's like watching a movie where they dub over like a classic, I don't know, like what's a good example? They dub over like Tom Hanks' performance in Saving Private Ryan, where you didn't memorize how that goes, but if somebody else just started doing the lines and they redubbed it, you would know something's wrong. And that's what's happening with Dick Tracy. You're like, okay, so it's like Batman, and the music sounds just like Batman, but it's trash? Like, that's what happens while watching it. And then, you know, you get to the end and you're just confused. You're like, okay, I don't know what we learned. I don't really know how he won. I mean, he defeated Al Pacino in this clock tower that seems like a complete ripoff of... Well, it's not a clock tower, it's a... What is it? It's the mechanisms for a bridge. But... Oh, wow, that was a terrible move. Oh, no. I've angered the Dick Tracy gods. But it seems like a direct ripoff of the last scene in Batman 1989, where they're on the, you know, the super gothic church, and you know, Batman and Joker are fighting. It's a tete-a-tete and whatnot, and it's going back and forth. It's a lot like that, and then there's this really shitty reveal that this like faceless figure who's literally called like No Face Man is actually Madonna, and you're like, who cares? And what was she trying to do? It seemed like she was trying to kill Dick Tracy, but she spent this entire movie trying to fuck him, even though he has a lady who like, she watches him make out with Madonna, and then she doesn't immediately go like, hey, so you're a piece of shit. It doesn't make any sense. It also seems like they put montages in the wrong place, which is weird, because like watching a movie with montages, they seem to go in the same place all the time, but this one seems to have two montages just at random points, and it doesn't make any sense. So, Dick Tracy, it's on HBO Max right now. I'm pretty sure my review doesn't make any sense, but neither does the movie. So have a good day. Don't watch Dick Tracy. Hopefully you'll come back for another Blockbuster review where I give you very little information and mostly just confusingly ramble on even past the game, which was the whole point of the review. Anyway, if you have a movie you want to recommend, I would say put it in the comments, especially if it's on a streaming service in America I can get to, because then I'll definitely watch it and do a review. Have a good one. Peace.